Man claims innocence, seeks to overturn conviction in 1982's murder. Cheongju, North Chungcheong Province. He was 22 years old when police accused him of rape and murder of a child in July 1989. He served 19/2 years of the life term he was handed before being granted parole in 2009. At 53, he is bringing the case up to court to overturn the 30-year-old conviction. The man, who asked to be identified only by his surname Young, spent 2 decades in jail and been another as a former offender until a staggering confession on October 4 by Lee Chun-jae, of jailed murderer pinned in September as the prime suspect in a notorious cold case, that he was responsible for the crime for which Young was convicted. At a home for ex-prisoners in Cheongju, North Chungcheong Province, on Saturday, Young told the Korea Herald he was innocent and that police brutality had forced him to give a false admission 30 years ago. "I will never forget the day Lee made the confession," he said. "Because, without it, I would never have dreamt of the chance at getting a new trial." The high-profile murder that Young was charged with occurred on September 16, 1988, in Hwaseong, Gyeonggi Province. The victim was a 13-year-old girl, who was raped and strangled to death in her room overnight. While police reports show the offender had climbed over a wall, Young, who contracted polio at age 3 and limps from his left leg, said he could not have done it. He also denied remembering ever going over the wall during the crime reenactment. "The walls were fragile, you see, and would have knocked over if you attempted to climb it," he said. In an October interview with the profiler, Lee went against the scenario presented by police and testified he had entered the house through the gate. The cold case team at Gyeonggi Nambu Provincial Police Agency said on November 15 they concluded that Lee's testimonies bore more credibility than Young's upon review of existing records and some dozen questioning sessions with Lee. Asked about his feelings about Lee, Young said he was grateful, more than anything, for coming forward and speaking the truth. Young said he heard from police that Lee said he was sorry for what had happened, and that he would appear at court as a witness to prove his innocence. The confession, which may help Young prove his claimed innocence, will not hold Lee accountable for any added charges due to expired statute of limitations. After news of the fresh confession broke, Young said when prison officer whom he had met as inmate and became friends with linked him to Park Joon-young, a celebrated lawyer specializing in miscarriage of justice cases. "A lot of people asked me why I did not seek exoneration all this time," he said. "The reason is simple, I did not have the money to pay for a lawyer and I was told by many I did not stand a chance. At first, I think I was worried Lee's confessions would change anything. But, Park told me it was a one in a million kind of opportunity that a suspect is rediscovered, let alone admissible," he said. Young and his team of 3 lawyers filed a request for a retrial at Suwon District Court in Gyeonggi Province on November 13. During a press briefing held that day, Park said he would not have taken Young's case had it not for Lee's confession, which he said changes everything. Young said he was visited by police in October about reopening his case. "At first, I avoided them because I am still traumatized from my experience with police from 30 years ago, even though I didn't do anything wrong," he said. 3 officers from the Gyeonggi Nambu Provincial Police Agency showed up at my house one day and told me they were revisiting the case because of some suspected inconsistencies. Young acceded to the renewed investigation and responded to police interviews 3 times, each lasting about 7 to 8 hours. "I may not be a smart man, but I have good memory," he said, adding he believes the trauma effects seem to be messing with his ability to recall. He said he remembers being deprived of sleep for about 3 days, asked to do jump squats despite his weak leg, and told he would be given a death penalty if he refused to admit his guilt. Young said if he ever has the chance to speak with the police officers who inflicted brutality to elicit a false admission out of him, he wants to ask them why they did it. "I was orphaned at a young age, and had to make a living for myself since I was 13. I also have a limp. I think I was framed because I'm not well off and I didn't have anyone looking after me," He said if he wins the settlement case against the state, he will use the money to help people like him, who are falsely accused and disabled. Hyun said two things he most wants in life are restoration of his honor and public apology from those who wronged him. The highly publicized nature of his case warranted a formal public apology, he said, stressing he was not interested in a private apology nor seeking punishment against the responsible. He said he wished the then investigators would own up to what they had done, for they would not face punishment as statute of limitations on all possible charges has passed. I just want the truth to be officially acknowledged that I am innocent, so I will no longer be ashamed to see my family. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.